This podcast was produced on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Welcome to Australia.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
This is kind of tragic.
Someone who is such a connoisseur of reality television.
The content is hideous.
So sorry about this. Oh my God.
This is The Cringe is Real, a reality TV recap podcast that probes the notion of the Australian culture cringe. I'm Sam Cremian, and I just want to give a special shout out to all my Instagram followers in Turkey. Welcome to the off-season, where I'll be recapping entire seasons of iconic Australian reality shows from the archives. This week, I'm joined by drama creator Maria Angelico, who, during our recap of The Real Housewives of Sydney last season, got so excited about Byron Baes, I decided we must talk more on the matter. Byron Baes is an Australian reality drama TV series that explores influencer culture in a place known for its lifestyle and alternative health practices. It was first released on Netflix in March 2022, and there is currently no word if the show will receive any future seasons. Maria Angelico, welcome back to The Cringe is Real.
Thanks. It's an honour and a privilege.
Stunning. First returnee.
Oh my God.
Yes.
No, it really is an honour. It really is. I feel really excited. I've never returned to a podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cool. So
They're like, thanks so much. That
Yeah.
was great. We'll call you.
Still waiting, guys. No, I feel really happy to be here.
And we're on the other side of Real Housewives of Sydney.
Yes.
And we're on the other side of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
What were your takeaways? How are you
yeah.
feeling about it?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay. Sydney was... Look, I think the reunion was good. I'm so fucking happy it's returning for another season. I'm thrilled.
I'm so happy. Poor Joel got a bit of slack from the fans.
I think he did a good job. It's hard because managing, when Andy does it in America, he's such a pro.
But
and
there's a power dynamic there because he's paying
he's
bills.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Joel does a good job of keeping the conversation going, getting spicy, but also managing and mediating. I think he did a great job.
And he saved enough that we're all gagging to come back
Yes.
now. Whereas I feel like if they did hash it all out,
Yeah.
cool, they could have done like a 3-part thing, but I'm happy to save it for next year.
I agree. The only thing that I wasn't happy with Joel, but maybe it was someone telling him to do it. I didn't like how shady everyone was to Nicole.
I could not stand that.
It really upset me. And look,
They were like, "Oh, you've all been so professional, rocking up." I was like,
know.
"Excuse me,
Look, I
she
think
had
it was
formal,
a bit.
have you know?"
I think he was doing a bit, and look, Joel's great for a bit, but I have some inside. Well, it's not inside really, but at the premiere of my TV show Strife that I was in.
Congrats! I've just started watching.
I think it was December 6th. I went up to Sydney for the premiere, and on the red carpet, which was more exciting than the premiere of this show to me, I saw Nicole.
Yeah. Oh my God. I saw the pic.
Because it was a
we posted
premiere.
the pic.
Yeah, I was thrilled and I was so excited. I absolutely fangirled. And it turns out that would have been the day, I think, that they shot, the day after they shot the reunion. And everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
But Nicole was telling me all about her daughter's graduation the night before.
It must have been Neve, right? Because Noelle's already gone to
I think it was. And
Cambridge
she
or
even
wherever.
showed me photos. Like, she was really excited.
Oh.
I think she did. Yes, she did.
Heard it
Now
here
I'm like,
first.
did I look at her
Receipts.
Instagram? No. No, but she was telling me all about it and she was like so excited. And I think then when I was watching the reunion and they were talking about her not being there, I was like, she was at the graduation. So why didn't they say she had the graduation? But maybe she didn't want to put that on her daughters. Maybe she made a
then
choice.
she came
But it
out
was
and said it
weird.
like the week. Anyway, it was weird. But they gave her way too much heat.
They gave her too much heat.
Like she was running away from something, but I actually don't think she was.
And
she's
look,
not that kind of person.
Best on ground,
We love
Caroline.
you, Nicole.
Oh, we love Nicole. We love Caroline.
Oh yeah, Caroline.
She's amazing.
MVP for me after everything was said and done.
She's actually really wise, mature and cool.
Yeah,
I think she's
totally.
amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And a Byron Bay local at some point in her life. So, you know, there's a link. There's that tie-in.
She's the OG Byron Bae.
she would have made that show a lot better. I think.
If they ever do a season 2, she has to be.
Oh my God. So before today, I did Google, like, is season 2 a thing? And there's like an AI generated article that's like, basically, no, is the answer. But there's some funny stuff out there about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out
Not
there
happening.
about it. A lot of stuff. But look, I think loved Sydney. And what was the other question?
Oh, well, before we get into Byron Baes, I have to ask you, what has got you cringing this week?
Oh, what has got me cringing? Spoiler culture.
Yes.
I'm actually okay usually with spoilers.
And this is because you walked in moments ago and I said, oh my God, Salt Lake City finale.
And I was like, don't say a word. I have not watched it
yet.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about it. And I have.
I know.
I think I know what happened because
it was
of
literally
Instagram.
spoiled. It was on Instagram thanks to Jen Shah and Monica, like seconds after the episode aired.
Can you they would have been sitting on that. Anyway, I can't go into it. I don't want to.
We won't go there.
But spoiler culture.
Yeah,
not into
fair enough. All right, so Byron Baes.
Byron
the
Baes.
The one and only season. High level thoughts.
Look, I wish there was a second season.
I know.
It's like, it's total trash. It's like, I mean, I'll go into my opinions, but I love it and I hate it, but I just really wish there was another season. And I feel like that's something that upsets me with Australian culture. Even if it is a trashy reality show, I'm like, give it a few seasons to find its feet. The cast will get more comfortable in front of the cameras. Like, we could have had a Laguna on our hands.
Well, this is the thing. So my theory is Australians don't take well to the soft scripted reality genre. Because in the UK, for example, you've got Made in Chelsea, you've got Only Ways Essex. These shows have been around for ages and they're really popular.
They're amazing.
Everyone knows that it's like half of it's made up.
Yeah.
But we just go with it.
Absolutely.
Here, we're much more like willing to be like, no, that's bullshit. We love being like, oh, they've scripted that, those cheeky bastards. I'm not falling for that. Do you know what 100%. I mean?
I think that there's like this interesting thing that Australians, I think we're quite hard on ourselves as a culture, particularly with like TV and films and that industry.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was, I mean, don't quote me on this, but there was some statistic where if anywhere around the world, if a country releases a film that they've made and then there's an American blockbuster, people in that country will see the film they made first before they see the American blockbuster or something else. And in Australia, it's not the case.
No.
Like, we love anything international, but when it comes to something that we've made ourselves, we're not very...
We already decide that it's shit before it's even out.
It's tall poppy, babes.
I know, it is the tall poppy thing.
It's really sad, and I love Australian TV. I love Australian culture, and I loved Byron Baes, and I want season 2.
I know, and it sucks. I have heard a whisper that there's like a Made in Chelsea type show that they're going to make in Bondi.
I heard that.
Called Made in Bondi.
Oh.
So hopefully that works. I think that would be quite fun. I think they need young people just being silly. I feel like it would work. I think the pitfall of this show was the casting, because half the people weren't even from Byron Bay. They'd plonked them there. So it was already really artificial feeling.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, look, it happens, but I think I just felt a lot of the cast were really performing for the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the best thing about reality are those people, like Jade, who he was performing, but there was an element of just this like candid newborn baby first time on earth energy that is like, it was so infectious. Thrilling to watch.
And I got to hand it to Jade. You can tell that Jade really wanted the show to be a success, and he was working with the producers.
He was.
Because he would say all these things like, look, I've made it. I'm here now in Byron Bay and I've made this group of friends. And I'm like, you don't believe that, but you're saying it and it's great.
100%.
Like, whereas the rest of them were not playing ball.
Yeah, I think they were two in their own little ego things. But yeah, he kept saying like, moving to Byron Bay was like the best thing I've ever done in my life. And I loved it.
All right, let's get into it. So the first episode kind of opens with a bit of a montage. It kind of like doesn't spoil anything, but it shows you like an overview of who everyone is. But we meet Sarah as she's the LC.
Yeah, she is. Oh, but then she's definitely...
Or is she the Whitney Port moving to
I think so. Well,
New
she's
York?
never going to get a villain edit. Let's say that. Like, we know that they are setting her up to be like the eyes of the
sweetheart,
audience. Yeah, the sweetheart. And to be
Yeah.
honest, she is a real sweetheart. Like,
Yeah.
she just needs a really good producer because like her music is
She's
like
gorgeous.
it's Billie Eilish coded. I think
Yeah.
she just hasn't got the right producer. Like she's got that
Some-
janky keyboard.
Yeah.
And,
I
like,
love she carries the
I
keyboard.
can't. Carrying a keyboard around with cables is
Oh
not.
my God.
I can't.
See, also, I love she's from the GC. So this whole storyline of like, I've come all this way from the GC. It is a like under an hour
It's
drive.
2 hours, 1:45.
Well, I
reckon.
thought it was like an hour.
Oh look, I
In my mind,
I think
it's
I
like-
made that up.
Well, every
but it's
time I go
short.
to Byron, I fly to the Gold Coast Airport.
Yeah, it's
'cause
short.
it's cheaper.
It's a short trip.
It's not a long trip.
But you know what? It's a big trip emotionally for
It
her.
is. She does go. It is. She goes home a few times as well. But
She does. Oh, and can I say I love her mum?
the mum is
Her
fantastic.
mum is so cute. She looks. Yeah, she's sweet.
Yeah, so she's gone to Byron Bay to make it, which seems weird again because it's like you're in the Gold Coast, like which is a city,
can't.
and you're going to this like strange town with like crystal people.
Yeah, where
I don't
like,
get it.
Well, it's like I understand, like, you know, it's not Nashville, it's not the music cap. Like, go to Sydney, babe. Go to
Yeah.
Melbourne. Go like
Exactly.
somewhere with. I think what like Xavier Rudd lives in Byron. Like, this is not. It's not even her genre
Well, what
of
I heard
music.
was she was prior to the show, she was like doing quite well in Brisbane anyway. So I'm kind of like,
Look,
it's but
I
we-
think
we
we're
know
aware that it's
a
not.
show.
She's not moving to Byron to
No.
like forge a career at the Byron
No,
RSL.
But I love they
She's-
try and spin us this
Yes,
story.
yeah, it's a creative hotspot.
Creative hotspot. Which we learn later on means that there's lots of really cool locations to take pics in.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like so many good spots. Jade enters in a like convertible car going yes to like randoms out the window.
Oh, I love that.
That scene was great. It was
he's
very like
heaven.
it was very Popper spit like
It was.
see you later.
It was.
He tells us that he's the most followed male influencer in Australia.
He does, which that's a plot point throughout this whole series.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for him.
We then meet Hannah and her mum, and she describes herself as bohemian, eclectic, and a little bit strange.
Yeah. I think
Spot on.
I think the more someone describes themselves as something, it usually means they're not that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Hannah is incredible. Hannah's mum is a fucking babe. Hannah's parents' house.
Hannah's the real Byron Bay deal. I was waiting for her to reveal like halfway through the season that she was actually Chris Lilly, because the character was
Yeah.
a caricature.
Well, I did notice, like, rewatching it. Okay,
Yeah.
season episode 1, she's full Chris Lilly. Like, she's full going for the Logie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's so OTT, Ishka Warehouse, like,
Yeah.
Salt Lamps Ahoy. But by the end of it, she's just more of a normal, like,
Yeah.
whatever normal is. But she's more of a chill, like, I think she's more herself. I feel like she was really performing for the cameras. And
She played.
it was actually wild. It was like a child or something. It was insane.
Nathan fucking Favreau rocks up to the house and he's swiftly offered a booch.
Yep. Oh yeah, they're talking about
booch.
booch. I love that.
The booch and the ceremonial cacao.
I
Fucking.
can't. Oh, we should be
kill-
drinking
I
that
know.
right
I'm
now.
sorry. I'm not. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I didn't have the time to start boiling
We should
up.
figure out which one's Simba mate. Anyway, I won't jump ahead.
Simba's
But
cacao.
yes, Nathan. So he was a batchy guy.
Yeah. So he was full.
I didn't
And
realize.
this is why. So later on, when he gets so offended about being called a fuckboy, I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
You're famously known as such. but
Yeah,
anyway.
I have a weird confession to make. I don't like his behavior, but I find him weirdly
Oh,
attractive.
I really want to fuck him.
He's
Yeah.
just
I know,
there's
and
something
I
just like
hate myself.
I think he
for
just
it.
looks so like healthy and
He's got that thick boy bod.
he's got really nice
And
thighs.
the eyebrows.
Yeah, he's
fuck
like
him.
he's a little Chris Pratt coded, like those thighs.
Oh, yeah.
That
He's got a Chris Pratt thing. I'm calling him like an LD Hemsworth because
yeah,
he's got
he's
like
Hemsworthy.
he's Hemsworth adjacent.
Yeah,
Hemsworth.
yeah. Cool.
Lauren and Jess. Now these two are like villain almost, but like I don't know what they're doing there. Jess is obviously they're pushing her fashion.
She's a
which
fashion designer.
A Jenna wore one of her things.
Yeah.
And that's how we meet her. Her and Jade are like talking about their Kardashian connections.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Jess and Lauren. I mean, Lauren kind of doesn't seem to have a personality on the show. I'm sure she does somewhere, but it doesn't make an appearance. But Jess is, I kind of like her. I feel bad about saying that about Lauren. I actually think I like Lauren. I think she'd actually be my favorite.
I want to go for a drink with Jess. I feel like she would just spill.
She's just so
everything.
blunt, so honest and great, and I think that's where she gets that mean girl thing. But we need to talk about where she met Jade. They were doing a like produced yoga class on the beach.
And he like rocks up late, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so GC. I don't fucking do yoga." Like, hello.
And I know it was like super produced and planned and like quirky music, cute, but he delivered, and it was so funny, and it made me love him even more than I fell in love with him when he was driving around in his car. Like, I just loved it. And it was such a great meeting. Like, I think their relationship, Jess finds him really amusing, and I think they're a good combo.
He's kind of more the Lauren Conrad, isn't he? Because it's like, he's kind of, anyway. He's got the big dreams.
Yeah, he dreams big.
Poor Kai. So what is Kai doing on this show?
Okay,
honey?
To be honest, I feel like I probably know
Yeah,
Kai,
I know
or like I've
people
met him.
Yeah,
like I feel like you know, I do have quite a few friends up in Byron, and
his photography's good.
It's his fucking. I
want to buy one of those pieces. It's really
stunning.
Good. Yeah.
And he's just like he's very also he's got quite Nam energy.
Oh yeah,
and I just love him, and I know everyone loves him, but I do. I love that he kind of, yes, I don't think he belonged on the show, but he so belonged on the show because he actually,
did.
Out of everyone, he feels the most like true Byron.
Well, they
like,
all
born
turn,
in Byron.
and I'm just fully going to jump ahead now. In the episode where they go to the Gold Coast, they all fucking turn, and they're all being like love and light, but also these people are fake and plastic. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like they do actually have a bit of a they've got a chip on their shoulder about being spiritual.
Well,
and
I think that's like actually that's a cringe.
Yes.
My biggest cringe is people who like present as like open-minded, but
yes.
they actually like if you're going to be closed-minded and judge others, just own it. But
like the way they make fun of Jade's fake tan event actually made me annoyed.
Yeah, it
like
did.
I was like actually wanted to step in and be like, excuse me.
Actually, Simba, to jump ahead. I know I keep bringing Simba up, but
Simba didn't need to be there.
I'm really something bothers me about Simba. A lot of things actually, particularly that faux fur vest.
Joe Rogan energy, like
just everything.
Like that guy that dated Kate on Housewives of Sydney. He like gives me someone that would do ice baths. He's been getting into his inner
body
bitch.
hack bro. He's a body hack bro, but there's an energy of like less woman hating and more like like maybe woman hating underneath, but presenting really soft and like gentle. It's I actually can't.
Twirls,
Well,
like,
I mean,
enough.
yeah. It's we don't need to. The thing that upset me was when like he's literally introduced by Nathan as like a whimsical shaman healer. Yeah. Okay, let's just let that sink in. But one of the first things he says is like when they go to the Gold Coast, he's like, yeah, everyone was lovely, but they couldn't move their faces.
Yes.
And I was like, you're meant to be this open-minded, shamanic, whimsical healer, and you're like throwing shade.
It was really mean-spirited.
It was a real real red flag. He's covered in red flags.
That to me is Byron. Like I think this is what I thought it was so funny that this show was so controversial in Byron. Like the locals fucking hated it. They were all like, this is not us. How dare you? Yeah. And I'm like, nah, like some of it was kind of spot on.
Yeah, well, even before the show came out, when it was announced by Netflix.
They were furious.
Yeah, there was a petition and there was people protesting, which is kind of amazing. I wish they kind of somehow brought that in. But
they didn't
and I actually I knew people that signed this petition, like real Byron Baes that I actually love, but I'm like,
the privilege is real up there.
It's really interesting.
It's the most expensive real estate in the country for starters. So the spiritual stuff is like cute, but it's also like wrapped in.
Well, it wasn't
privilege.
always like that. It
No,
was
of
like
course
it was
not.
like it's but it has become something. I don't know. It's interesting. That's what. It's very interesting.
Yeah, you're right. It's a true gentrification story in the way of like at one point in time there was this genuine hippie culture.
Yeah, and
there.
I wish that they kind of went into that more because I feel like we just got the new wave.
We need
people.
Mullen Bimby babes.
We need Bimby babes.
Mullen
and
babies.
you know who's Mullen presenting? Kai.
Yes.
He's got he is.
I'm a Virgo moon with a Mullen presenting.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so if you were with all these characters, what would you be? Would you be like a Kai moon with like a Hannah
we haven't even
rising?
Gotten well,
okay, we'll go through the
do you know who
characters
I
first.
actually identify the most with, who we're about to get to, is Alex. So Alex,
whoa, okay.
you're going to hate me.
I don't know if I can be here any longer.
Can I say why? Can I pitch my case for Alex?
Yes.
So I think Alex was horribly cast on this show.
Why was Alex in the show?
It was so awkward with him there because...
Should we just explain who Alex is?
Yeah, so Alex is the talent
manager
guy.
Who takes Sarah on.
I don't know this for a fact, but I don't feel that he's actually from Byron or lives in Byron. I think he's giving Sydney energy. I feel like he just went up.
Giving Queensland.
Oh, Queensland. Yeah, I feel like he just was there. Anyway, but I feel like he held the show together because without him, who the fuck was Sarah going to talk to? Sarah got a lot of free therapy from him.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if it was great therapy, but
he listened. I thought he was a good friend. And she did not give a fuck about him. He was really trying to help her.
I mean, okay, if I'm just going to go devil's avocado here.
Please.
He took her to Hannah's party and she didn't know anyone.
He was in the back pocket of the producers.
She didn't know anyone. There's a singing bowl ceremony where everyone is like hugging. She's sitting on the floor and he goes, I'm going to go, babes. Come on. He's not there for her for that moment.
Was
dog.
At the start.
But I do know what you're saying.
I'm doing the second half of this season. He's like really there for her.
He is.
And she kind of just, I don't know. It feels used and abused to me. Like she like breaks down and cries to him a few times.
Wow.
And
she's like really saying a lot about you, Sam.
And then she says all this stuff like, no one in this town is here for me. And I'm like, they're literally cutting it with this guy, like listening to all of her like kind of pretend trauma.
But I feel like
know.
Alex is kind of in this position of not the clique.
Sociopath?
No, I'm kind of obsessed with this, and I think it's
like.
it's
Don't get
really
me wrong.
No.
I don't want to hang out with Alex, but
no. I understand. I love him, but I struggle with a drop crotch tracksuit pant.
Oh, he looked terrible. He was a glass house throwing stones at everyone, but the shade he threw was very funny. He started all of the fun drama.
Look, I'm not against him, but I was just interested in your opinion there.
Handmaid's Tale comment. That was kind of the first
but also
part of the season. Then he calls Jess's fashion Pirates of the Caribbean. Like all his references suck.
Funny. Trip to Spotlight.
When Sarah walks in, for the first time, he goes, oh, so you're on social media? And she's like, yeah, I'm on Twitter. And he goes, Twitter? Oh, Twitter doll. How 2012?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got some great lines. I think the first time we meet him, he's on the phone and he goes, oh, you want to pay big W prices and get a David Jones. What is it? David Jones delivery. Yeah. He actually mentions David Jones a couple of times because later
the pinnacle of sophistication.
I know, that's where I'm like, I love that David Jones is like the reference point for like bougie for him. Yeah. It's amazing.
Elias.
Okay.
Like,
I have nothing to say.
He's like a piece of meat.
He's really good looking.
Clearly. There's not a piece of body fat on that.
No, his jawline is, I want to lick it.
But beyond that, mate.
Yeah, I'm curious. I actually would have loved him to just I'd love some one-on-one time with him, not just in romantic. But I want to know what's
an
underneath
exclusive
it all.
tell-all with him.
Yeah, because I think, like everyone, we've got depth, but I'd like to see what's underneath all of that because I feel like he got a bit of a bum steer. Like he kind of got really surface stuff. Everyone talked about his looks, and then throughout the series, he just kind of got the villain at it.
He did.
And he didn't get much of a voice.
I mean, I feel they would try. So this is the thing with this show. There's who they're trying to get you to like. And I feel like they were genuinely trying to get us to like Nathan. And it was just nothing was going to work for me. Like,
well, he's charming.
I know, but the Elias Nathan drama, so that car park scene was fucking amazing.
It was amazing.
When he's like, bro, I'm going to meet you at the car park and we're going to fucking hash it up, bro. And then he rocks up on the scooter.
They're fighting over Sarah, and it's giving like Channel 9 underbelly. Like,
neither of them actually into Sarah. Let's be real.
They're just into being main character. It felt. I don't even know.
No, it was a fight to be who's the one that's going to be the main character.
The wins.
Yeah, wins. But neither of them gave a fuck about her. I'm sorry. There was zero chemistry between Sarah and either of them.
It was a pissing contest. But also, like, I kind of felt like neither of them caring. The producers were just telling them to do it.
The real villain of the show is Elle.
Stop.
Elle is heaven.
Okay, so I've done a Google deep dive last night.
Tell
I
me
can't
everything.
find shit.
Of course.
Which makes me...
She'd be on full blackout, like no socials.
She is giving such serial killer energy. Like, even there's just something about, like, she's kind of beautiful, but she's got this, like, something about, like, her hair and it looks like she's had... And look, I don't want to go on about a woman's looks, but there's something that is not human. It's a bit AI. Yeah. She's like giving AI, and she's also
the hair.
So there's one thing that I did. The hair. It feels like it was cut off a corpse. It's a lot. But okay, so the one thing I did find was a Daily Mail article.
Okay,
and she posted a photo of her doing, like, she does a lot. So her Instagram's still active. And she does a lot of charity all around the world. She is the CEO of some Congo.
Is she still with Stav?
No.
Oh, stop.
I mean, he would have watched that show and been like,
sorry, babe.
So they're over. Can't find anything about that online.
Do you think she was absolutely just fucking Nathan?
Oh yeah,
now?
I reckon there's a lot she was doing. But there's this one thing. So she posted some photo of her in the Congo or something, and it was her about, like, on a charity tour, blah blah blah. And apparently in the background was her laptop open, and it was an email from the storage unit place. Some storage unit place saying she was 42 weeks late on her payment. And that was the Daily Mail article that I found. That's it.
Wow.
But, maybe she's... Because she kind of...
Slow news week.
Well, yeah, true. But, she gives this, like, I'm a philanthropist thing. Yeah. But I am curious because she doesn't seem to have... She doesn't give me a money energy. She doesn't give me... She's got kind of, like, Toowoomba energy, if anything. And I just...
The outfit, she was always in some kind of, like, flowy caftan thing, and with that hair, and when she
very Camilla.
Yes, and she was always at the house,
always,
or never anywhere else. She would just walk into the kitchen, and like a ghost, like, float in just to check up on Nathan. Like, she was always watching what Nathan was doing.
Sorry. No, just she's like the epitome of someone that's like, I'm the nicest person in the world. And I'm the nice. She actually says, like, I'm the nicest, most, like, caring person I've ever met. She says that.
Yeah, it's fucked.
I think when someone says that, it's scary. And also, she isn't. On the show, she presents awful. Comes across. Look, she might just be in the edit, but she comes across so mean in the show.
She does.
Yeah.
In episode 2, there's probably one of my favorite scenes of the show where we're at Crystal Kingdom or Crystal Palace or wherever.
I think I know what you're going to say.
And Hannah's sitting there meditating, and Jade walks in and he's like, "Hey, babe," and she just sits there quiet.
I think I remember the first time I watched it, I screenshotted it and posted it in my stories.
Heaven.
It is. I think it's TV gold. Like, that should have just got season 2 on its own. Like, that's a Logie. Like, she's meditating in the most performative way at Crystal Castles, which
Crystal Castles.
I've been there.
I've been too.
I mean, it's kind of fun, but it's like, it's not that spiritual. But she's sitting there meditating in so much, like, Hessian, and he creeps up and he's wearing, like, Versace wraparounds. Like, he looks literally like he just walked out of Dubai airport.
Yeah.
And he creeps up.
He's
like, he's like trying to say hi, and she's ignoring him. But then she goes, I'm sensing someone near me.
I'm sensing an energy, a presence.
I'm like, someone just whispered in your ear.
You're mic'd up. Then she goes on to tell us that dragon eggs and dragon bones have been found in Australia. And then they're over 20 million years old. Which, like, this made headlines.
It was incredible. Yeah. I think was performing for the cameras and trying to be really deep, but I think she's just, I don't even know if she realized what she was saying. I'm trying to
was
give her the
great.
benefit of the doubt.
No.
But
It's
it was
fantastic.
that was incredible. I loved that. I think that's the best scene ever.
The scene right after that is Jess's fashion event
Yeah.
at that little place, which I have stayed at that house. It's on
Really?
Airbnb. The
No
house with the
way. It's
pool.
really
Yeah, it was
beautiful.
stunning. Yeah, we
Okay.
stayed when we went for Tropical Fruits a few years ago.
Cute.
So when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, they're doing an event in this Airbnb. We meet Frimmy and Saskia.
I was just going to say there's two characters we haven't talked about that
Frimmy.
I
Mate.
am. Okay, so I think besides Kai, Frimmy and Saskia, they seem the real Byron
They
Baes.
seem like they accidentally walked
Yeah,
onto
they're
set.
like dipped in Lucy folk.
Yeah.
They've got like beautiful real European tans. Like they've got
Yes.
like they're real Byron.
Frimmy starting a boutique airline.
I mean, they ride horses on the
Bro.
beach. They've just
Saskia.
got real. I really like them. I
She
really
gets
like them.
a little bit cunty in one episode.
She
though.
does, but she holds it and
then
she apologizes.
And then I appreciate that.
Yeah.
She sort of flips that because there's a whole storyline in this that I don't like where the girls all blame Sarah for like making the boys fight. And I'm like, girls,
It is so toxic.
you're really going to blame her?
So two guys fighting over two girls.
Oh, she's
over
trouble.
one girl.
Oh,
and
she's
then
trouble.
She gets
Like,
blamed.
What?
It feels so
Blatant
dated.
disregard
so
of
toxic.
girl code. And then Saskia, I think she realizes that that's gross.
She also confronts Al
She-
on Al
yes.
lying, which I really like. There's something about her. I feel like
Yeah.
her, Frimmy, that name, oh my God. Her, Frimmy, Kai, and Jade, they actually weren't really
No.
performing. They
No.
were like being themselves. And I
Yeah.
think Jade being himself is performing. So that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, true.
But I
true,
feel
true.
like more of that kind of cast
Yeah.
would have been fab.
At this party, there's a line that I died at where Sarah walks over to Kai and the boys and they go, oh, hey, we were just talking about dubstep.
I can't. It's amazing. There's a lot of good lines at that party
So
because she
many good
also
lines.
says that line where she's talking about her date
Oh,
with Nathan. And
yes.
she's like, well, it wasn't a date because I didn't have high heels on and I was wearing underwear.
Which I die. And they all judge her immediately. And
I'm like,
you're...
that's so, she's making a joke
But
and she's
those
so
lines-
funny.
But this is what annoyed me. Every now and then we would see that, Sarah, and I'd be like, yes.
She's funny.
Give us this. You are
Yeah.
funny. You are GC. You are hilarious.
Because she's taking like digs at them, like all wearing linen. Like she's
There's a line where she
funny.
goes, when in Byron, wear fucking linen.
Yeah, she's
Like,
great.
amazing.
So I feel like the overall, like you could
Yeah.
feel the storylines that the producers were pushing, like
Yeah.
the love triangle between Alias and Nathan and Sarah.
Yeah.
And then the whole, I feel like the storyline with Al being in love with Nathan was like an accidental thing that they stumbled upon. And then they were like,
100%.
let's go into that. Like, can you imagine the
They
producers?
were going to keep that a secret forever.
There is no doubt that they were fucking the whole way
time.
through that. The scene at the end.
Oh, when
I might
at
tell
the
me if
pool.
I'm jumping
Nah,
ahead. But the
it's too
scene
late
at the
now. We're-
episode
we're-
8,
We're too deep.
where they're, I think it was episode 8, where like
Yeah.
Sarah's like,
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna bring them together and
Yes.
sit by their micro pool in that
Th-
house.
that- what is that
literally,
pool?
that house was a service department that they'd never lived in. There was like,
100%.
anyway. So she's like, I'm gonna sit there and confront Al and Nathan on
Yeah.
their relationship.
Yeah,
and oh, Frida's into this.
Oh,
she's
getting excited.
really anti-Al.
Yeah.
So she sits them down and, you know, she confronts them both. And if we could just zoom in on Nathan's face while she's asking all these questions to Al. And I feel like he's so aware the camera's on him, but he's also trying to like give
so
like,
good.
I feel like he's trying to telepathically like say to Al, like, shut
Yeah.
it the fuck down, bro. Shut it the fuck down.
And
Like
he-
he's panicking.
And he reaches back into his like bachelor training and he like knows all the right things to say.
It's
And
amazing.
the shit he said to Sarah, like, oh, you can trust me. I'm the like, God, dude, you didn't need to say any of that. Like,
No.
why that like serial killer behavior?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's Al. She's a serial killer. But he was very batchy. He did a batchy thing as well in like Ep 1 at Hannah's party when like Alias was talking to her and he's like, hey, can I steal you for a
Yes,
chat? And I was
steal you
like,
for
this
a
is
chat.
not The Bachelor.
Steal you for a chat is
It
like
was
straight
so
from mouths.
batchy.
And that's the thing. And that's he thought it was like a dating competition show.
Yeah, it was
or
amazing.
something.
But that conversation was so fucking entertaining. And watching Al kind of like figure out how she was going to It was just amazing. It was incredible.
My ears pricked up on the first episode when she's like, yeah, my beautiful partner Steph, he's just out of town all the time.
Can we talk?
I was like, oh.
Can we talk about stuff?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's so much to say.
I think you had about 2 lines the whole show.
I had a nightmare. So I watched it. I rewatched last night, and I had a nightmare.
No.
That I was shooting a movie, and my love interest in the movie was like stabbed. Like it was like this little man, and I was like,
was he saving the coral from?
I can't
bleaching?
remember, but I was just really like, he's a child, and maybe this is boring to talk about, but I was just like, I can't fake this chemistry. Anyway, Stav got into my psyche.
The line when they're at the coral part, the mermaid party, and Jade's like, "What? Who's been bleaching the coral?"
Oh, beautiful,
fucking
beautiful.
Heaven.
What do you think? Do you think like Stav is like some like genius kind of like Silicon Valley guy, and she just kind of like just bled him dry, and then like what's the vibe there? She's got the energy. Elle's got the energy of like Anna Delvey. Like,
oh wow,
do you reckon? Like there's something kind of like.
It feels calculated.
It feels like very much like, because she's so delulu, like, and she believes, like, she so believes that she's this person, and she's so not that person. And I just get the vibe that she's Australia's Anna Delvey.
She is. Episode 3, my favourite storyline is introduced, which is the fake followers from Turkey.
Oh God!
So this is perfection.
Yeah.
I feel like this was probably the most staged of all the storylines. Like clearly they just fed that information to Alex.
Well,
ran it through the software back at the lab.
That's a good thing about Alex that I actually appreciate.
Yeah.
I think he knew what was needed and he delivered. Like as a performer.
He kept it moving.
He knew what the show needed, and he did. He was good with that. But yeah, the fake followers, what do you think? Were they fake? Do you think they're real? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's coincidental. Of course
it's
fake,
interesting.
but who cares?
Part of me I really don't want to believe they're fake because I love Jade so much. And I was literally doing like mental gymnastics being like, well, I guess like Kim Kardashian would have lots of followers.
I just love it. It's like, have you seen his content? It's like famously homophobic places. And it's just like, oh yeah, everyone in Iran and Turkey's following.
And apparently all the comments really like, there's somewhere it's like, there's this photo that's him in a shower and it's only his face, and the comments are like, nice pants, nice shoes.
It was the Kim K pic.
Yeah.
But the best, that's my favorite argument ever, when Jade's clearly like a few like lines in at the photography event, and he's like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
I've travelled the fucking world.
I loved it.
Who do you manage? And Alex is like, yeah.
Well, Sarah's standing right there being like, he manages me. And I just got this gig playing a keyboard in a barn that Alex actually didn't even set up. Nathan organized it with Kai. I'm like, what is Alex doing for Sarah? He's like, he should hook her up with a producer. He should help her make good music, not take her to parties. And I know it's a reality show and it's all produced, but I just couldn't get my head around it. I
genuinely believe that halfway through shooting this show, Alex was like, I have made a terrible mistake. And he was like, fuck it, I'm just going to cause havoc.
Yeah. And I think he had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, he was having fun.
Yeah.
That's my circle back to why I identify with him, because all of the other voices in the show were in this other world, but he was like my eyes, being like, looking at it all, being like, who are these people? He even says at one point, he's like, who are these people? These are not my people.
Yeah. Who do I identify with? Who do you? I want you like don't want to offend me.
Maybe Saskia.
I kind of.
You've got a bit of a confident energy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take Saskia. Yeah. Okay. Great.
We were saying that Saskia looks a bit like Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a little bit. She's just got that beautiful, open kind of baby doll woman face. It's good.
The line about the high horse.
Oh, that was amazing.
So funny.
And I'm sure it was scripted, but at the same time, Sarah had some zingers, so maybe it wasn't.
When she's like, what did she say? If you're going to come at me on your literal and figurative high horse.
It was amazing. It was so good. I just feel like not enough people watched this show
I feel like people didn't they?
I mean, everyone kind of like, there was so much hate.
Yeah.
And a lot of people hate watched it. And I don't know. I just think maybe I've just got a really high tolerance for trash. But I was like, it was
I thought it was top shelf. The ending, however, was you know, it was not ideal. I think when Sarah made the decision to get out of there, I think the producers are a bit like, shit. Yeah. How do we flog this dead horse? Her
curly look, though, for the final was really good. Like, she is, I'm sorry, she is so beautiful.
Yeah.
She's like...
It's that Creole background.
She's gorgeous.
That storyline was cute when she went home to mum. Yeah. And she was like talking about being bullied and stuff as a kid on the GC.
Fucked. Also, there was like, who came up with the storyline of like the one POC on the show? Oh no, there's Simba as well. But I was like, this woman like coming in, like being the outsider and everyone bullies her. It was very Australian.
It was. And then that was, because this is the other storyline I want to talk about, is the Byron Bay locals, in inverted commas, like not being welcoming or whatever. And then Nathan's whole thing was like, no, like, trust me, I'm going to show you.
It's actually really chill, bro.
It's really open. Like, it's really welcoming if you're like really rich and white.
Yeah, exactly.
That was kind of the storyline. But I don't know, do we buy that? Like, I think they just didn't vibe because they weren't friends beforehand.
Yeah, and it was a produced TV show.
Exactly.
I'm sure it is pretty... Actually, I think it probably is a bit cliquey. But like any small town with like rich, hot people, it would be cliquey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fake tan launch event.
Amazing. Incredible. I'm so glad we ventured back to the GC and we saw Jade in his element and also Sarah in her element.
Not gonna lie, it made me wish the whole thing was set in the GC. Well, so there is rumours as well flying around that we're gonna get a Real Housewives of GC.
Stop.
Have you heard this?
No.
It's like a faint
so
whisper.
Good.
But how good would that be?
Oh, we are so ready for that.
So ready.
Oh, I would love that so much.
It'd be great. What was that yacht that they were on? It was
bonkers. And also there's like 18 people on it. It was the biggest yacht. He said it was the biggest yacht.
The biggest yacht in almost Queensland.
Stop. It was amazing. It was, look, it looked like a great time. There was snacks. There was champagne.
They had a lot of like really nothing events where all they did was take selfies and just stand around.
Yeah, but that's a reality formula. You know, it's always an event. It's like
I
the
think it's
fashion
influencers. I think influencers are just like actually not that exciting. I think, and this is another problem. I think the producers thought, influencers, they do all this crazy shit. Nah, man. They live on their phones. I don't want to watch that.
That is a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that kind of checks out. Because events are a reality TV show thing, like having an event. But yeah. And also, I've been to lots of events. Yeah. I'm a social gal. But a influencer event is always so boring. Like an activation of any kind is like... It's the only interesting thing is looking at people taking photos of themselves and getting like free stuff.
And that last event was like, what even was that? They didn't even make an excuse. It was just like there was a camper van or something and some fairy lights.
That was so Pinterest. Also, we just have to shout out to Nathan's like tradie look. Like,
oh my God.
Like as if he set that up. The art department put that disco ball and the bunting up and all of that shit. Yeah. And then he wore a tool belt and like stepped off a ladder. There was a lot of that. Kai actually did it at his art exhibition as well. There was like a giant easel and he like with a spotlight that was like
it's very Netflix to do that.
Yeah.
And all the slow-mo shots.
Oh, we love a slow-mo shot.
Love the slow-mo. There was a lot of surfing.
Yeah.
And like the slip and slide at Kai's house and
Look,
stuff.
I loved that.
That was cute.
That was cute. More men hugging. Yeah.
Oh no, was that? There was a moment between Simba and Kai that felt actually genuine.
Yeah, well, it was when Simba was talking about his friend that died.
That's right.
That was really sad.
On a mushroom trip.
Awful. And I think Kai was himself the whole time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was cool because Kai could have easily been like, this is so not my jam, I'm out. But he just like stayed like genuine and open to the whole experience, which I'm sure was so weird for them. But he was really open in that conversation with Kai. It was beautiful. And he gave him a hug. It was sweet.
It was sweet.
Yeah.
Sarah's final sort of line to us is, this town has broken me. It's kind of fucking like heartbreaking.
It's really heavy. It felt...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
What do you think happened?
Well, I don't know. It was really hard to watch someone like actually just be traumatized on a TV show and like bullied and like that's... I just felt like, I mean, I don't even know if she was going to move to Byron Bay before the TV show, but I'm like, it's sad that experience was so negative for her. I'm sure it had a really negative impact on her.
The whole show was kind of just like, she thought she'd give it a go and then it didn't really work out.
It didn't work out. She got bullied and the guy she hooked up with was like having an affair with his housemate.
And then the talent management side of things, like, I'm sorry, like, where did that go?
That was,
like,
well,
come on.
I mean, where did he get
He booked her a few gigs.
Did he?
He booked
Did he?
her
Where?
Kai's photography event.
No, Kai booked that. That was Nathan's idea.
Yeah, she didn't need Alex.
Alex didn't even.
He did nothing.
He did absolutely nothing. Even when she was at the recording studio, like, he didn't set that up. He just drove past a cow. Like, he did nothing.
I did love, though, when Jade and Alex were having that huge fight about the followers, and Jade's like, "You're a fucking disgrace."
Yeah, that was beautiful. Look, even though I feel like plot-wise, kind of nothing happened in this show. Yeah. Really.
No, absolutely nothing.
And look, that's like happens on reality shows a lot, but this felt extra nothing because I think it was so produced, but it was still...
It's kind of why it was great.
It was still, it was like, it was really good to zone out to.
It was like the best and the worst thing that's ever been made by Netflix.
I just think, but I do think what you said about the casting, I think we could have benefited, or we would have been a little more entertained by just some more dynamic people or maybe it was even like warming them up for the shoot. Like, I just feel like everyone was very performing and uncomfortable around the cameras.
I also think there's an inherent like pretentiousness about the Byron Bay vibe and what it is that doesn't suit itself to reality TV. Like, the Gold Coast characters, they want the they want to be on TV. They want to be, they want to launch products, all of that stuff.
Okay, I agree with you, but I don't. Because maybe it was their tactic. Maybe a reality show about Byron Baes, but it's not about them being influencers. It's about them just in their lives. Like, I don't know, like...
You still need story and drama, which, look, we did get. I honestly, it's like... It's that meme of all the numbers and the letters right now. Where I'm like trying to figure out why it wasn't good.
Because it had all the things, but it just didn't. I don't know.
It's still fucking iconic, and I want everyone to watch it.
I mean, we're talking about it right now, and we have been for an hour, and it's I won't stop talking about it and thinking about it.
I know.
I'm really curious, and I'm sad because I just. Like I said, I think if we got a second season and maybe there could have been some new characters and people just would have like, I don't know. I think if they also sat back and let it just happen more, maybe it would have been fucking boring. Maybe they all would have just gotten out their phones. But I'd like to think not. I don't know. Yeah, we haven't really solved any problems here. Maybe we should have had that sacred cacao.
The ceremonial... cacao. Oh my God. Well, I mean, look, there's not much else to say. It's not going to go anywhere. We're never going to find out what happened to Nathan. He's like not on social, right?
No, a few of them aren't, which is kind of sad. Like Jess isn't with her
She's not even doing
brand.
the fashion.
I think the fashion brand is still going, but Jess is not on, which is sad.
So the show was like
her
cursed.
sister's on. Well, I mean, it's really interesting. I think there's a bit of tall poppy and then a bit of just mismanagement of their like, I don't know. They're kind of presenting themselves, or maybe.
Do you think they were all like sold a different vision than what it actually was going to be? Like, do you think they were told like, oh, look, we're genuinely interested in, your lives? I feel like they do a little bit of that with Housewives, for example. Yeah. Which we've seen now with like Victoria Montano at the reunion being like, you guys are all watching this to see my fabulous life. Yeah. And I'm like, honey, no.
It's voyeurism. Isn't that what she said?
Voyeurism and fabulousness.
Voyeurism and fabulousness. Fuck, I love her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably. And also they're like, they all seem quite naive. Even though they're not that young, they all feel like they're like 17. Like they're all quite like...
There was high school energy.
There was a lot of first time on earth energy. And I just feel like maybe it was that. And I kind of feel sorry for them.
I got anxiety just like watching some of those party scenes. Like the way when everyone would walk in and be like, hey. Like I was like... Ugh.
There's something that happens, I think, a lot with Australian reality is where... There's a lot of like performing with all reality, but I think in Australia we're trying to kind of fit these roles. And I feel like there's a lot of cattiness just straight up front. Like, it's not earned. It's like this kind of weird, like, I'm just going to be catty, and it's just less, I don't know. I just wish they were all a little warmer with each other.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, Maria, we haven't solved anything.
We haven't, but love and light.
Love and light to everyone involved. And I genuinely, I know I made a joke about it at the top, but I would honestly love a second season.
I'd love a second season.
In whatever version that takes, whether it's where they move it to the Gold Coast, whether they just fully recast it. I love it. And I think because Netflix has that pull, you know, they've clearly got cash.
Yeah.
And I want them to do another reality show in Australia.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Give it a go.
Give it a go. Give it a go, Netflix. Thanks for having me, Sam.
So good to see you, babe. Bye.
Bye.
So good to have Maria back in the studio to talk about Byron Baes. I'll be back again next week for another off-season episode to talk about another season of an Australian reality show with a special guest. Until then, bye-bye.